Standardization of educational content and quality assurance, primarily to prevent any form of abuse from unethical providers, bad content, etc.
Exactly. I think your question, sir, have the part of it is in the part of the answer is in the question actually. I think honestly we as UNESCO we have to avoid three dangers. First danger is that education become only a good for the market. Indeed, education is part of the market, but it's not. It's a public good. And our job as UNESCO is to ensure that access to knowledge, access to education remain in the hands of every citizen of the world and does not need to be supported by paying patent or license to get access to education. Of course, copyright, we defend copyright. We defend the creativity of authors. But we believe that knowledge is a common good of all human beings. Therefore, we have to defend access to learning, access to knowledge as right of all, and not to penalize because of new technologies the access to knowledge. At the same time, there is another danger, is that some entrepreneurial initiative may have short sight in producing low-level education, devalued education, unethically promoted and sold across countries and across borders. And those who cannot afford good education, good quality education, will pay second-class education, will pay second-class documents and products and video material, which are not really going to produce the right educated citizen of the world. Therefore, we have to invest a lot of energy on quality assurance, on certification of the pieces, on the product, etc. We are not rich. UNESCO is not a funding agency, but we have good partners. We have a number of countries who are very worried about that. They don't want invasion of second-class education or even third-class education or even distorted education on their societies, on their citizens. Another danger is not only to have the wrong quality, is to have the wrong education at all as in itself. Dealing wrongly with the topics like history or geography, or maquillaging reality, or not giving genuine and fair treatment of issues and problems, social problems, cultural problems, or promoting implicitly drugs consumption, or authorizing misbehaviors which are not accepted by societies. This again, there is a danger of polluting through educational messages the wrong messages and having the wrong education. We're not to be the moral authority, but we have a moral responsibility. And our responsibility is to facilitate the generation of processes to protect the citizens from also the wrong kind of education. And finally, last but not least, and this is very important, we are in favor of a united world with universalistic value respected. And education, as you know, is a facilitator of social mobility. But how you can promote social mobility if you don't have system of measurement, assessment, and certification of achievement? And we believe that we should not be too shy in promoting partnership among all the education communities, both in countries and across border, to facilitate standardization in the way we establish norm for measuring achievement in education. But we have to be very careful not to make that kind of process a process of reducing the scope of education. Because if the assessment deal only with what can be assessed and we forget all part of non-cognitive and attitudinal result of education, we will really impoverish the concept itself. There the methodology is not yet sound. So we have to really encourage researchers, social scientists, and all specialists in statistics and evaluation to treat adequately the concept of assessment and evaluation, to make it fair and to make a proper treatment of what education is all about. Education is about training human beings to be autonomous, master of their destiny, and able to live in peace with others, to interact with others. If you forget these principles, it's not really what UNESCO is about. UNESCO is about that, and we'll try to keep that in mind in all our action accompanying this process.